everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Loose Cannons podcast. I'm your host, Sammer, and I'm hanging out with Christian, Stank, and the awesome Greg Auman. Welcome to the show, everybody.
Greg in the house.
That was Greg in the house. That was a great opening.
Greg is in the house.
I got to clap for Sammer, too. That was a great opening, Sammer. Great opening. Great job.
Thank you. Listen. Before we kind of dive into all the stuff that's happening in the world of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I'm glad we have Greg on today because as a journalist, Greg, you understand integrity. You understand that honesty and delivering the truth and standing behind integrity it's a big deal. And I don't know how much you follow on Buccaneer Twitter, but they had a tournament a couple weeks ago for the 64 best Buck Twitter accounts, and Stank and myself were matched up in the Final Four. And the matchup was back and forth, 51-49, 50-50, 49-51, back and forth for, I'd say, about 80% of the matchup time. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, he jumps like 6 percentage points. Now, at first I thought, all right, maybe they just like him more. It's fine. I'm not the center of the universe.
Yep.
But after I, had my team do a little research, I found out there was some shady handlings of votes going on in the background. And I wanted your input, your insight, Greg, on, integrity as it relates to the sports world.
I've never heard of any vote counting issues here in Florida. So this is odd for me.
Florida, never.
Fake news.
Fake news. Wow. Okay.
These Twitter brackets, man. Everybody loves these Twitter brackets, and it's like they're neat, but you can't get that caught up in them. I know it means a lot for you guys to win your regional and your sub-regional and so on, but you can't get too caught up in those.
Look at Sammer's face.
30 minutes before the end
Greg.
of our battle, he somehow enlisted Mike Silver.
He's
got like 200,000 followers, and to campaign against me, and I still beat him.
Listen, I didn't reach out to Mike. Mike on his own, we're friends. We've shared a few, plates of wing, in my time with him, but he just on his own decided to retweet that he was going to vote for me. It didn't make a difference because there were so many Chinese voting bots working for Stank that it made absolutely no difference. Imagine that, Greg. Greg, imagine somebody with 200,000 plus Twitter followers tweeting about voting for me, and it makes absolutely no dent in the voting outcome.
It's like, I think your account is a friend of Mike Silver if he hasn't blocked you. I think that's all it really takes to be counted.
Yeah. I tend to agree with a lot of what he says, though.
Boom.
That's a strong vote if you got his vote, though. I will say that.
Thank you. I mean,
Matt
that's really all that matters.
Matt Gay actually voted for me.
We're in discussions now
Not
with
true.
the rules and the competition committee involved in that bracket and that tournament. So we'll see what happens. We might have to end up, taking the win away from him, giving it to me, and then I'll move on if he's actually.
The weird thing is, I was beating Ashley until you started to endorse me, and then I lost. And that's kind of weird. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't know, man.
I wouldn't put it past that because when you started endorsing me, saying, "Hey, people go follow Christian," I actually lost 20
followers.
I lost followers. I was very confused.
I don't know about that, man. DJ Khaled sent me a DM and he said he voted for me, and I shared it with everybody. And
this is why we had Greg Auman on here, by the way, to talk about.
Greg, we only brought you on here for this. I thought you would agree with me, so I don't know if you haven't agreed with me. So I don't know if I want you on here any longer.
Hey guys, thanks again. On Twitter, my name, G-R-E-G.
Greg.
All right, no, for real though. In all honesty, a lot of stuff going on in the Buck world. Greg, the number one thing that I wanted to talk to you about was the reaction from what Donovan Smith said last week with, the letter he posted to the NFL and the NFLPA discussing how he doesn't want to play or is thinking about not playing because the risk involved is much higher than just for himself.
Yeah, I think.
Go ahead.
Sorry. Yeah, I was going to say, he's got a baby coming in about 3 weeks. And I think, like anybody else, you have to think about bigger things than you as you go into something like this. I mean, again, there's a risk involved in playing football right now. I mean, I think that was the case before Corona, but there's probably more. Now you have one that you can pass along to your family if things aren't right. And I think that's what he has in mind. I don't know if it's such a strong concern that he won't play. For him to take the step to send this open letter to the PA and to the NFL certainly means it's something he's thinking about a lot. It's hard to walk away from $14 million, which is what he'd be doing if he took the year off. And like you said, you asked about reaction. I think some people are very sympathetic and understand that, if you don't have to work, I think the main reason most of us work is because we have to pay our bills. So if you're fortunate enough to not have to work, you can think those ways, and you can think about your safety and your family's safety above whatever income you're getting from your job. And he's in that position. So I wouldn't fault him if he did. It's a tough place to be, because if you step away, I mean, some of us work for huge companies. If I left the Athletic on the same terms, they'd hire somebody else and they'd replace me. And you wouldn't think much of it. Donovan Smith's a left tackle. So, I mean, he's tough to replace, especially in July. But again, if that's what happens, the Bucs will make do. I mean, this is when they talk about next man up. This is what it is. And it's kind of a reminder that, coronavirus, you could get a positive test on a Friday and have to make these kind of adjustments 48 hours before a game day. So I think what will probably end up happening is that he accepts what the NFLPA is trying to finalize in terms of the protections that are in place for players, all the things they're going to try and do to make this a safer deal. And he'll play this season. That's the most likely outcome. But until he sees what he wants to see, that's going to be a question mark.
Now, is it something, Greg, with your source? I mean, obviously, you're not going to tell us who, but is this something that's echoed in the locker room? Like, are there other players that are feeling that way but haven't come out and said something? Or is he, obviously Brady's, only thing we have to fear yourself. We know where he stands, but
yeah,
are there other players that feel the same way, or
I think I don't know. It's like I had reached out to Donovan and asked, are there other people I should talk to? Are there other people that feel this way? I'm sure there are people that are thinking these thoughts. I don't think they're thinking them so much that they're doing it publicly like Donovan is. But again, if you're a guy who's been in the league for 8-10 years, you've made enough money where you don't need to, I'm sure it's got to be something you think about. Again, it's kind of like if you're making $14 million, it's hard to walk away. I mean, Donovan even mentioned wanting a raise. So it's strange if $14 million is too much risk, but $16 million, all right, maybe. But again, that's certainly his choice. He's kind of earned the right to make that decision.
What kind of a fallout would occur if, let's say, he doesn't want to play? Let's say he says, you know what, it's not a risk I feel like I'm going to take. How does his cap hit? Does it get moved? Does it stay on the Bucs? Are the Bucs able to take that $10 or $14 million and then allocate it and go get another left tackle via trade that they can now pay? How does that all work? Has the NFL shared that backup plan if things have happened like that?
That's kind of the weird deal here, is that they haven't. So it's tricky. Like, if a healthy player opts out of the season, even if they have a guaranteed contract, that's a guaranteed contract based on the idea that you're playing. So he wouldn't get paid. I think most people, the NFL hasn't really said what's going to happen. Most people think what will happen is that they call it tolling. The contract tolls. So it's kind of like when Gronk retired. Okay, when Gronk retired after the 2018 season, he had a year left on his contract. And then when he came back, it just that contract resurfaces. So now he's playing 2020 under the terms of his 2019 contract. And that's what happened with Donovan. He's got 2 years left on his deal right now. He comes back, he sits out the year. He would come back and the Bucs would owe him in 2020 what they would have owed him in 2019. There's some people that wonder if you stepping away, even if you have the right to do so, would constitute like a breach of contract, which could void guarantees. So the risk that obviously there are risks in playing, but the risk that Donovan Smith has in sitting out is that if somebody else is their left tackle for a year and does a really good job, they might prefer that person to be their left tackle. I mean, the Bucs just took an offensive tackle in the first round of the draft. And I think the original thought was that Tristan Wirfs is going to be the right tackle this year. But if you like him, you might prefer him to be the left tackle over anybody you'd bring in off the street who was available in July.
Didn't Bruce say that he could play both sides? I think
he did. Oh, no, and he's played a little bit of both sides. He's primarily a right tackle in college, but he's played both sides. It's just a matter of, do you want to put him in that bigger, larger, more difficult role immediately when he hasn't even had a normal rookie off season to prepare and learn and do the things you'd want to do to have a guy in place week one protecting Tom Brady.
Hey, Greg, a guy like DeMar Dotson likely isn't going to make this football team, probably going to be forced to retire unless he just decides to retire on his own. However, with these extended rosters, these extended plans, where you're going to have a bigger practice squad and things like that, you think a player like DeMar may end up finding his way onto this team still?
Yeah, I mean, again, in this scenario where Donovan Smith says he's going to sit out the season, that probably makes sense as the next guy you call, not even as the left tackle necessarily, but if you move Tristan Wirfs over to left tackle, you've got a guy that knows this offense, that's played as a starter at right tackle. They've kind of made the decision to move on right now. So, I mean, I think they prefer Joe Haig to DeMar Dotson, but just for depth and continuity, it'd be good to have him there if you're down at tackle all of a sudden. I think right now, Dot's 34. He's had a great run, has been with the Bucs longer than any player on the roster, but they've cleared. I mean, the fact that they haven't signed him by now says that they don't think he's in their plans long term. So maybe that changes if you're suddenly down a starting left tackle. If you thought you were getting 1,000 snaps from Donovan Smith and you're getting 0, that will change a lot of things. So yeah, he would make more sense to me than a lot of the guys you bring in off the street who haven't played in this offense, who don't know the terminology, who don't know the guy you're going to be lining up next to.
Greg, speaking of cap, Sam asked the question about how it affects the cap if it rolls to next year, et cetera. I believe I saw yesterday the Bucs are 32nd in cap space. You need about 6 to 7. Correct me if I'm wrong. I know you're like the encyclopedia when it comes to that stuff, the exact numbers.
Right.
We're 32nd at about 1 point something million in cap space, but we haven't signed one single rookie. I know it's usually it'll be fine. They'll all sign. They'll be here for camp. But what are they? I mean, is there something we don't know? Because like you said, if Donovan doesn't play, that cap just gets moved to the next year, and then it opens up whatever his cap is this year. Or they're going to cut somebody if they expect Donovan to come. Like,
they don't have to cut anybody. They're fine. It's tight, but they're fine right now. They have about $4.9 million in cap space right now. The number you hear with draft picks is that it's about $7 million in cap room. But the way the cap works is that only your top 51 guys count against the cap. So if you sign, it's like Tristan Wirfs is going to count a lot against the cap, but like your 3rd round draft pick won't even get in that top 51. He's like number 54, so it doesn't matter. So what it ends up taking about $3 million in cap space to sign your rookies. And again, if they have a little bit over 4 right now, it's kind of like you check your checking account, and it's like the check's not going to bounce, but like nobody else do anything until Friday, that kind of thing. It's just tight.
Gotcha.
Speaking of COVID, I mean, that's obviously the focus right now with everybody talking about the NFL, not just the Bucs. The NFL came out recently with some rules now as it pertains to the media members in training camp, during practices, post game, stuff like that. Talk a little bit about how that's going to affect how you guys do your job, and also how that in turn is going to affect the fans and what it might be telling us between the lines of what's to come as it relates to fans in the stands and fans at, full capacity or no capacity at all. Like, give us a little bit of insight from your perspective on that.
Yeah, that's a bunch of different questions there. First of all, we kind of know at least an idea of what our access will be like during training camp and preseason. And it's kind of something that the Pro Football Writers Association has been negotiating for a while. They've done a pretty good job of, initially it looked like a really raw deal, maybe 2 reporters per team, you heard stuff like that. And then it was reported at one point that it'd be 4 reporters per team who would kind of have to act as pool reporters, which is fine. It's just, as a pool reporter, it's kind of like everything I get, I have to share with everyone else. So it kind of homogenizes everybody's coverage until it's all the same, which is fine in the middle of a pandemic. You kind of have to do what you have to do. But now it's a better deal. Now it looks like each team's going to have 10 reporters that will be considered what they call tier 2 reporters that'll have access to practice. We're going to get at least temperature tested and symptom checked. We could have to take tests. We don't really know yet how much they're going to test us, but we'll have access to practice. It looks like we'll have access to get the head coach on the podium. All the player interviews for everybody are going to be non-in-person. It'll be either a Zoom or a phone or something like that. So there's 10 per team. I think there's another 30 per team that can watch practice but wouldn't have the same access. There's no open locker room at all. We've lost that. There won't be any of that. So like I said, we've got 10. That there are rules in place that kind of limit what you can do in terms of tweeting or reporting during practice. Normally, training camp is kind of fair game. And usually because if it's there and open to fans, it's like there's no point in telling the reporters they can't tweet something out if Joe fan in the stands can send out a video or news as it happens. So the rules are usually pretty loose when it's a practice that's open to the public or open to season ticket holders or something like that. What we're going to have to deal with is the same restrictions that are in place during the season in the NFL, which is that they don't want you reporting anything or tweeting anything during practice. So like in week 9, when we're at practice, if Donovan Smith wasn't there working, we can't tweet that until our window to see practice has ended. So that's something we're used to. It's just now it's the whole practice. So the only thing that would really be tricky with that is if something huge happened, if a team has a star player that goes down with a knee injury or something like that, are all the reporters there going to wait till the end of practice, or is somebody going to break embargo and tweet out, hey, so-and-so hurt his knee, was carted off, that kind of thing? Most of it, it just means you're going to have to wait until the end of practice. Then you can tweet out some key things. There's language right now that doesn't want us to report who's working with starters or who's working with the second team or who's in the nickel or who's in goal line, that kind of stuff. Usually that's the kind of stuff that you can deal with on a case-by-case basis. You want to still be able to write about what you're seeing. But again, we kind of have to get to preseason training camp first, and then we'll kind of iron out the lines in the sand of what we can and cannot do.
Hey, Greg, has there been any discussion about potentially having like a virtual practice that the fans will be able to watch online? I know that I heard something about 2 open practices, maybe at Raymond James, where a limited amount of fans will be able to come in and watch the team play. But anything virtually, like I would think the fans are typically able to go to 14 to practices, and why not, put a cam on the field and allow us to watch some stuff virtually? It's kind of the same thing.
It's a good idea, and I'll tell you, the only hesitation is that just these teams are really protective of what they do in practice, and anything they don't have to share, especially on like a webcam where your week 1 opponent can be watching your practice and know what you're looking and what you're doing and who's working where. They just really preserve. So there are some coaches that don't care at all about it, and they're like, hey, let them see, try and stop us. And then there are other coaches who want to just keep every strategic chance and advantage they can, and they don't want that out there. So yes, they could. Absolutely, they could put a webcam on and let fans watch practice and see touchdown passes and see big defensive plays and all that kind of stuff. I don't know that that'll happen. The NFL current proposal,
similar to how a preseason game, you're not going to show everything in practice. You're only going to show what you're really willing to give up. It would be no different in an open practice setting where they're just going to essentially be doing 7-on-7 or 11-on-11, just doing kind of some basic vanilla stuff, and then obviously you're not game planning at an open practice either way.
Yeah, I mean, and there's definitely times where it's like they'll tell us like, hey, this period is off limits for photos or video. Yeah. Like maybe you don't show the 11-on-11 periods when we get to the part of camp that actually has those. There's lots of compromises you could make. It's just a matter of whether is your ultimate goal giving yourself the best chance to win, or is it keeping fans happy and giving them a chance to see the team? So they've got to kind of find a balance between those two things. Like you said, there definitely is language right now where they might have 2 fan events where fans could be in attendance, kind of socially distanced, masked, away from players, not having interaction with them, but able to see a practice as like a fan appreciation type thing. I don't know if the Bucs will do that. I don't know if they could do it indoors or if it had to be outdoors, how far away the fans would have to be. Their number one priority is not putting their players at risk to get the virus. So it's not quite a NHL, NBA bubble, don't leave the hotel type deal. But they're really going to be careful about that, and having 3,000 fans at your practice doesn't help with that. So that's still something that has to be worked out.
I want to go back to something you said just a second ago when you answered my question. I don't understand why they limit you guys to what you're going to be reporting in terms of who's playing with the starters, who's not playing with the starters. I know you're not supposed to send out certain videos of like a highlight reel play. That doesn't seem like it has anything to do with COVID to me. What's the point of that exactly? Where did that come from? That just seems like something they kind of just slid in,
right,
along with the other stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like when they have like legislature that's about to get passed, and they just throw in like, also $50 million for my oil pipeline. So yeah, no, this is definitely a case where they have a change in circumstances, and again, there's nothing that I tweet that's COVID related. No one's going to get COVID because I tweeted that somebody was working as the second string left outside linebacker. But it's a chance for them to kind of exert control. It's unfortunate. Again, if you ask 32 coaches what they want to allow reporters to report from practice, they don't want us to report anything. They don't want the opponent to know that, the right tackle looks a little gimpy, or the left corner looked slow in coverage. They don't want anything to get out because teams are listening, they're reading, they're doing everything they can to scour their opponents and find out anything they could, exploit any vulnerabilities, all those kind of things. So there's just some coaches are more paranoid than others, but as a collective mass, that they don't want us to tell much at all. So it's one of those times where me doing my job isn't directly in lockstep with them doing their job. So when they get a chance to restrict that and say, no, you can't say they were in dime, or you can't say that so-and-so lined up, as a jumbo tight end in goal line, they don't want that out there. They want to have as much secrecy as they can while still keeping fans, interested in the team to some extent.
We lost you, Greg?
I don't know if we lost Greg.
Greg. I was watching Castaway yesterday. Wilson.
That's not the same thing.
Underrated movie, man.
Way underrated, bro. Greg.
Did we lose
Greg? Greg has had enough of Stammer's fucking questions, I think.
Yeah, I think so, bro.
Hey, I want to go back to the question I asked you, Greg.
I needed some clarification.
I don't care what Stank asked.
Because I just want to hear myself
I let you ask him your question. I just didn't want to cut you off, but I wanted to understand what he was referring to, because it was kind of like
what it is.
Like it's COVID related.
It's exactly this. Don't ever let a good crisis go to waste. That's what it is, Sammer. And the NFL's like, we're not going to let this shit go to waste. Has nothing to do with COVID, but we're not going to let it go to waste. Nope. No reporting. Might infect the player.
I think what's going to happen is they're going to like what happens with no reporters and kind of limiting all their access and all their tweets and all that kind of stuff. And this is going to be the normal for good. For
I think they'll try it, but the problem with the NFL, bro, is that it's fucking feast or famine, right? Like, people can't get enough of it, dude. People can't get enough of it. 365 days a year, you can't get enough of it.
Twitter and all that stuff became.
It'll just break. It'll break open again. They'll have to, because
I think they didn't control it because Twitter blew up and sports reporters jumped up on Twitter and everything started becoming share all the videos on Twitter, this and that on Twitter, and it just blew up on social media to where everyone was seeing everything all the time. And they're like, shit, like, this is not good for, trying to hide your defensive tackle playing or practicing a tight end position or a fullback position, in the jumbo package. All that kind of stuff just kind of got exposed. And now they have a chance to kind of go backwards and fix some of that stuff. And that's obviously going to be to the team's advantage, each of them. But, I don't like it, because I like, part of being a fan and, training camp is that you guys, you get to see those videos from Greg in the middle of the day when you can't be there, but Greg can be there. You can see the ridiculous plays. You can see the chemistry building, all that kind of stuff. And now that stuff, it's going to be gone. It's going to make training camp we can't even go there this season. So
no, we're going 2 times. We're going. I'm going. You going, Stank?
I'm already here, bro. I'm already here.
I'm going. Inject those videos into my fucking veins. So I get what you're saying, Sam.
Inject it right into my veins. Alex Guerrero can come over and inject whatever he wants.
Alex Guerrero's not going to go in your veins. He's going to go in your butt cheek. I'm just pointing that out, bro.
Listen, the way he touches another man.
Guerrero's going to go between your butt cheeks.
I didn't say between your butt cheeks. I said in your butt cheek.
I didn't hear between either. That was a big jump, bro.
I heard between.
That was a big jump. Listen, Sammer, you are all excitable today, bro. First, you're sending me lewd photos of bears, naked photos of bears, and now you're talking about spreading cheeks.
He was wearing pants. He was wearing pants.
He was wearing pants.
I don't know.
He was just extremely gifted.
I got a question for both of you guys.
He's blessed.
We've had this discussion before, but it was when we didn't know what the fuck was going to happen, right? We got the Ravens making announcements. We got the Jaguars making announcements. Pretty soon, the Bucs are going to follow suit like everybody else. They're saying 20 to 25%. If they can only fit 14 to 16,000 people in that stadium, if they say we could still sit together, we going?
Yeah, we're going.
I'll sit on your lap, bro. I will sit on your lap.
If they say we could go, we could sit, because I remember we had this conversation. We said, fuck that. I don't want to do this shit. See you next year. But if they say we could sit together,
we're going, man.
We're going, right?
I'm going, bro. I'm
going.
We're going. I'm going no matter what.
I think we got Greg back, by the way.
Well, there he is.
Yeah, Greg is back. Greg is sideways.
There
we go.
Sorry. Sorry, guys.
All
Welcome
good.
back, Greg.
Battery
All
died
good,
on
man.
here. I thought it was charging while I was talking, and it clearly wasn't.
I thought one of the kids jumped on to some Call of Duty and just knocked you off the internet.
That's also possible.
What is he on a dial-up, Stank? What are you even talking about?
Yeah.
So-
Anybody who wants to email Greg, it's gregallman@americanonline.com.
I don't really use it, but I do still have an AOL account that's just like the old contact for a lot of things, so I don't get rid of it. But yeah, I still have one.
Greg, we were kind of talking while you were gone there, while you're figuring out how to charge your phone. We were talking about how the Ravens kind of sent out that little message to the fans that their season tickets are not going to be the 2021 tickets, and that if the state allows, they're going to have fans in the stands, but it'll be at 14,000 fans. And those tickets, is that something you see happening across the entire league? And considering how Florida's governor is running things here, is that something that we really don't need to worry about in Florida? Because I don't really. Yeah.
I don't know if it's going to be state to state or team to team, but I mean, the Jaguars came out, and the Jaguars are going to be at 25% capacity, which is like 17.
Normal for them.
It's no big deal there.
Jaguars outdrew the Bucs last year, but
no, Greg.
That's because Jameis Winston was our quarterback. Greg,
You didn't have to go there, Greg. Damn.
Sorry.
It was because of all the interceptions.
Really.
Everything
Greg has all the information.
James' fault.
Yeah, you can't slip anything past him, bro.
No, man.
But
holy encyclopedia. Holy shit.
The state of Florida is going to probably want the same kind of things for all three teams. So the fact that the Jaguars are already going to 25%, Bucs haven't announced anything, but it'll be interesting to see how they handle it because they have more than 17,000 season ticket holders and even more so with Brady and Gronk on board. So I don't know how they'll take those tickets and make the right number of people happy. Does every season ticket holder get 4 games? Is there a lottery? Is it by seniority? If you had 8 season tickets, do you still get all 8 or do you get 4? There's lots of things they got to figure out quickly and have something set up where, I mean, the demand for those tickets, if NFL stadiums are playing across the country at 25% capacity, the resale market will be strong. Even with Corona, even with all the risks involved, people will want to go to those games.
I don't know,
and
boys.
there's going to be, Amalie Arena level.
Good thing we're really good friends with Brian Ford. Hey, Brian, I know you're a big fan of the podcast. Don't forget about us. I mean, listen, we have to be at the games, Brian.
I have some seniority, Brian. I have some equity built in, bro. So does Stank, but then he stopped and he started up again. But
no, I never stopped. Never stopped.
So both of us, man. Like I've been since 2004. So Brian, make it happen, bro.
Brian, every
Greg,
season opener, I spend about $1,200 in jerseys. Also, I spend at least $300 a visit there just on food alone. So
he doesn't care about your dirty money, bro. Okay.
Wow! Oh, wow!
Greg.
Whoa!
Greg,
wow!
Please don't you dare tell me that the Dolphins outdrew us too. That's not possible.
Yeah, I think I'll have to look, but I think the 2 teams that the Bucs outdrew last year were the Bengals and the Chargers, and the Chargers were in a soccer stadium.
What kind of buck luck is it that Tom Brady comes to town? They probably have 30,000 plus season ticket holders now. I'm assuming they doubled their numbers. It's going to be something ludicrous, and then now they can't even reap the benefits of that.
And they have a Super Bowl in town that might have the same kind of thing.
Yeah. It's a Bucs
too.
Wow, I didn't even consider that a Super Bowl with a half-empty stadium. That would be weird.
Yeah, I mean,
stadium, yeah.
I wish I could just be in that room when they're discussing all these like backup contingency plans and how things are going to play out. Like, there's no way they're going to have a Super Bowl with a half-empty stadium, right? There's just no way.
Is it any less of a risk? I mean, it's a huge thing, but. And I mean, who knows? That's February. That's literally seven months from now.
Listen,
so
I go to Walmart, bro. That's a risk. Okay.
Walmart
is a risk, bro.
Listen, Walmart was a risk before COVID. Like, like I walked in there just like, oh man, I'm probably going to get stabbed with a needle here accidentally somehow. Like, you can't go through the self-checkout was the only option at one point. Like that was it. Right. You just any other route you were going home with something.
I still go to Kmart. All right. I don't go to Walmart.
Hey, what?
Where is there a Kmart? I don't even know
where's the Kmart?
There's got to be one in Polk County somewhere. Has to be.
yeah.
Right next to Blockbuster. There's a Blockbuster and a Kmart somewhere in Lakeland.
Hands down.
Be kind, rewind.
Podcast. The best question of the podcast. You know, nothing like Sammer and Stank. Totally unique. Are we playing football this year? Are we playing football, Greg? Are we going to play football this year?
I still think so. I'm still saying so right now.
Miracle.
Is there going to be a college season, or is that pretty much already?
Greg, I'm holding you to that, Greg. I'm going to play this clip over and over again on Twitter because now I have it. That's it. Greg said,
it's not really my decision.
It must happen. Greg said.
College football, I'm worried about. College football, they keep like this conference is pulling these games out. This conference is not playing football. It's not trending in the right direction.
Greg, are you prepared to write about players playing football on PlayStation live on television? Are you ready for that? Madden games. Are you ready to write about, breaking down the game, esports? Is that the new direction this country is going to be permanently stuck in until this COVID thing just disappears?
If that's what The Athletic asked me to write about, I'll be happy to write about it.
I bet your son Riley can write about
company line cop out, Greg. Come on.
It's funny. My youngest is 9 years old, and it's like he does that where if he's not playing Fortnite, he's watching video of people playing Fortnite.
Yeah.
Twitch.
So I laugh at it, but yeah, you're right. I'm not that far from that being like, hey, get off the TV. I have to watch this Madden game. Chris Godwin is playing himself, and he's down by 21 points.
Can you imagine, Greg?
I mean, it's really no different.
He's day-to-day with a thumb strain. Not sure if he can use the joystick this week.
It's really no different than Stank. I mean, Stank, he can't have sex with his wife for an entire year. So now he's basically watching porn, right? So
yeah, Greg,
really
listen,
different.
Greg, do I still have to he's gone.
Hey, Bill.
Since I brought up porn, Greg left.
I was gonna ask him if I still have to adhere to he's back.
I'm back, sorry.
You know what? I'm not even gonna ask.
Ask him right now. Greg, listen. Stank basically made a deal with the devil that if he were to abstain from sex with his wife for an entire year, if we got Tom Brady, it happened. He did it again for Gronk. Now, if the season doesn't happen, Greg, you're going to be the final say on this.
If the
season does not happen, does he still have to hold true to that promise?
No, maybe like make him hold up till next August or something. Like he can go back to whatever he was doing.
Whatever I was doing before, which really isn't much different than what I'm doing now.
Been
married 12 years.
Resume activities as needed, and we'll come back and you can make another bet next season. That's just my take, though.
You know what's funny? I didn't make that bet like I hope Brady comes here. I was like, Brady's never come here, and then I was like doubling down, like, and yeah, right, Gronk is never gonna come here. But listen, right around the same time when I was, I don't know, some kind of spirit jumped into my body. I have fortune-telling spirits. Right around the same time, I did tweet out, wouldn't it be ironic, and a million people have said it now, though, wouldn't it be ironic if we got Brady here and we weren't able to play because of COVID? That also I said back then, too. So, man, this –
I tried to talk some sense into you, bro. I told you he was coming.
Hey, guys, I hate to do this. I got to run. I got someplace I got to be. So
you scared him away.
But I'll do it again. It wasn't Stank talking about his future bets, I promise.
All right,
we'll do it again, guys. Thanks for having me on.
All right, Greg.
Thanks for hanging out, Greg.
See you guys. Take care.
Damn it, Sammer.
Way to go, Stank. You fucking scared him away.
I told you not to ask him.
Shit, bro.
You scared him away. It's all good, man. We got shit to talk about anyway.
He said Greg Auman said I can have sex with my wife, so I'm good.
Either one of you great prepared podcasters look into the rules that came out today or yesterday or whatever it was on the parking and the tailgating and all that stuff? No?
I already figured there was not going to be any tailgating, but
he said, well, then how the fuck are we supposed to have a paint booth? Are we going to park at somebody else's house? Then we're fucking tailgating down the street.
We're doing it across the street. We'll rent somebody's front yard, bro. That shit ain't fucking property owned by the Bucs.
Bodies in fucking pewter, okay? We're fucking doing it.
I am 4 blocks from the stadium. Well, a little bit.
So we're doing it.
I'm not far.
We're going to Stank's house. We're going to Stank's house. Dude,
you got actual block.
We'll get Sasha involved. We'll pick Sasha up too.
You have the whole concrete thing in the back.
She'll be doing the painting. She can do some painting.
Okay, I'm down with that.
Okay. Go paint me, sweet.
All out.
Sounds good to me. Hey, listen, let's talk about something real quick before we fucking fall off the deep end like always.
What, like Kareem's seasoning that I wish I could taste?
Huh?
Like seasoning, our sponsor. I wish I could taste that. Can we talk about that?
No, I don't want to talk about that. I want to get to freaking Shaq Barrett signing his franchise.
Real quick,
tag
though,
tender.
it's currently 5:53 and 17 seconds. You guys didn't follow.
Oh, yeah.
Saber, your TV in the background is constantly giving me the time, bro.
Oh.
It's a distraction. They're 5:53
Whatever,
and 40.
Ignore that
49,
shit. No one,
50.
who cares?
Watching right
I
now.
wanted to talk. I haven't talked to you guys about freaking Shaq Barrett signing that franchise tag, but then filing a grievance. And I totally wanted to ask Greg about that because I don't exactly know how it works. But what, like, does that mean he's not happy with how the Bucs are valuing him, or is that a thing with the NFL? Like, how does that shit work?
I think it's an NFL thing right now. Outside linebackers versus defensive ends. It's a slot, salary cap slotting thing. And I agree with them, by the way. Why is he being limited because of the name of his position? That's ridiculous.
I think somebody tweeted it, and it made total sense that can we get out of the dinosaur era NFL, please? Like linebacker and then defensive end. Can we create a new position, edge rusher? You know what I mean? Because he is a linebacker, but he plays as a pass rusher, like 95% of the time. But because he's listed as a linebacker, they want to tag him like a linebacker. That's not what he does.
I know, but it makes sense. It makes sense for the Bucs to do that. Like they're going to cut every corner they can. But my point is that if they come to an agreement and they're going to pay him $50 million a year, whatever the number is, it doesn't matter if you call him a defensive end or a kicker or a punter. Who cares? Like that shit. This has just come up because of what he gets paid on that tag based on what they want to call him. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's the only reason, because of the tag.
And I mean, is that why they're holding up paying him and coming together on a deal? Is it because they're like, listen, you're a linebacker, and he's like, no, I'm a defensive end? Or is it because 2021 is going to be $40 million less on the cap?
I think it's the latter.
All of that shit that's happening with COVID that's like, we're not paying players right now.
I think it's the latter. You don't know what room we're going to have next year, what the fuck's going on next year, how much is going to get done. The reports are 40 million. It could be more. It could be less. Who the fuck knows? So at this point, it's like, why? We have him under control for one more year. Once we can assess what the situation is with the cap next year, then we'll extend you. But right now, you know what? Fuck it. It's not worth the risk. We don't know where we're going to be in cap space. And you know what? We get to see it one more time. We get to see it one more year. He said himself he's going to be here. He signed the tag already. So fuck it. We get one more peek see.
I need to say something, man. Like, listen, this is a corporate fucking thing that the NFL is doing to its players. It's ridiculous. Just because your profit margin is going to be down this year doesn't mean the player should have to pay for it. It's insane. They're still going to make money hand over fist. The NFL is not losing next year unless there's no football. Even if there's no fans in the stadium and the games are played, the TV money is more than enough to cover all the expenses that these owners have. They're all going to make a shit ton of money regardless. Why are we playing this game with the players having to put 35% in some kind of escrow just in case the NFL's not losing money? Okay, they're just not going to make a 500% profit this year. Oh damn, they may make a 200% profit this year. It's insane. They're still going to make a fucking profit. So why are you doing it? I agree 100% with Donovan Smith. He's financially independent. He has the right at this point to say, fuck off. I'll sit home. I got enough money to live off for the rest of my life. I don't need to put myself and my family at risk. I don't care what your political, opinion is or whether you believe COVID's good or bad. He has his right as a human, as an American, and as an employee, an independent contractor, essentially to make that decision. He doesn't need the money. Now, the rookie or a free agent, he doesn't get that same benefit because he had, just like a union guy, like he's flexing his muscle, and I give him credit for it. If anything, these guys need to get hazard pay because they are risking their lives, their families' lives, their careers, and potentially infecting somebody who could die from it. So I don't understand why the woe is me crybaby shit's even coming out of the NFL right now.
I mean, I agree with Donovan 50% of the time, and the other 50% of the time I'm like, you get paid a shit ton of money already. You're an athlete. Like, I floated out this scenario.
He earned it. He's not giving that money.
Like I said, but like I said, I agree with him. Like, I understand his perspective and his point of view, and it's not wrong. But then also saying the opposite of that is also not wrong. The people who are bashing him and saying, oh, he's fucking making a stupid decision, like they're getting all upset that he can't entertain them. And like, that's just fucking dumb, dude. It's a fucking sport. It's a game. It's not like if there's life and death involved in it, dude, like, yeah, if he doesn't want to get his potentially, weak immune system, mom or his father, involved in that type of risk, because it's not just him taking that risk. It's his entire family. Everybody he touches takes that risk with him. He has to think about that. And it's not like those players are just going to, play a game and then quarantine for the next 14 days and not see their family. And they're going to play a game every Sunday. So I had this idea, and I talked to you about it a little bit, Stank, before, earlier in the day. What if, and this is crazy, and I think it's not really that far-fetched, but what if you took every player who wanted to play in the NFL, made them all sign waivers, and then took each individual team and quarantined them together in a facility, with all the amenities, make sure they're comfortable, away from everyone but the teammates and maybe the coaches, the staff members, things like that, and infected everybody on purpose, but monitored everything. Let everyone run through the virus, right? Let it run their course, because these guys are not you and I. We could be athletic, but they're on a totally different level. Those guys have immune systems that are better than ours just because of how physically fit they are. They're in shape. Like guys that are defensive tackles can outrun guys like me, any athlete that you would know on the court, in the local pickup game. They get outrun by a defensive tackle. Could they possibly just get it out of the way and infect the players now and let it roll and just,
Listen, they could do that. They could do that, but that would never fucking happen, dude. Never. Just like I joked about Alex Guerrero infecting Tom Brady on purpose. If they did that, that'd be some closed door shit.
Look at Christian, dude. Christian Christian's
like,
listen, it just takes,
one death.
Exactly. Just one. Like, what's the tolerable number? One death, one hospitalization. Like,
no, I
listen,
get that.
I know that the death rate is plummeted and the hospitalization rate has gone down quite a bit, even though in Florida we're up. But no.
Think about this, Christian.
One guy, bro.
Yeah, I get that. But my whole point is that the like immune systems on the majority of these guys, if not all of them, is totally different. Like the immortality rate is really low. People are getting infected, and nothing is really. They're not passing away.
If like a bitch like Matt Ryan gets it, I don't know if he can hold up, bro.
No, he can't do it.
Yeah,
we call him a bitch, but I bet you that guy fucking run circles around us.
I'll dunk on his ass, bro.
No, he's tall as fuck. What are you talking about?
I don't give a shit, bro. I'll box his ass out. I'll dunk on his ass.
Matter of fact,
with a trampoline,
I could back him up. I could totally back him up. I'd get him down the low post. I'd kill him,
bro. I'll play him a basketball game and I'll spot him 28. Fuck out of here.
28.
Yeah,
what are you playing to?
Right, 28-3.
28-3 is coming right over your fucking head, bro.
Yeah, but it didn't work. You play 21. You play 21 when you play basketball.
21.
You should have said like 20 or something like that.
Is that a penis? What is that, bro? Nobody
sees
it.
Shattered TV.
Is that
the new prototype face mask that they put out for the players?
Oh yeah,
I saw that.
You saw that?
A lot of players don't reacted on there. I saw some player reactions. Are like, yeah.
I cut a couple players.
Hey, what about our center who's in like a fucking wing eating contest the other day?
And won. Not just in a one.
Yeah, and won. Excuse me. Dominated.
One.
Dude, unreal. But I don't think it was an amount. I think it was like levels of hot, and he was the last one standing. I think that's what it was. I don't think it was like I ate 120 wings and this guy only ate 100. Right?
Doesn't matter.
I think it was like no, dude. It's fucking impressive. Okay, if you know me, if you follow me on Twitter, wings are the best meal ever. Like that's number one favorite meal.
I agree.
Beck, I love you, Beck.
Favorite food ever.
Fuck you, Beck, for saying wings aren't the best. Okay.
Yeah, can't be wings.
Fuck you, Beck.
Hey, Stephen Beck doesn't believe that we landed on the moon. Anyways, keep going.
Beck doesn't believe the chicken wings are the best.
Wait,
food
what?
Ever.
Hold on.
He said that to me.
He's so logical, and he fucking wears polos, and the motherfucker doesn't believe that we landed on the moon.
That's what I got from one of his tweets. He's a moon landing denier. Beck, why don't you come on the podcast and defend yourself?
But let's not get too far.
He's avoided the podcast ever since this came out. He just completely avoided it.
So beautiful.
Is it has to do with the fact that he's seen no royalty?
I gave you yours. Where is it?
I think it might be.
We haven't even
might be
begun
in my
sales
bathroom.
on the Becs baby oil because of the social distancing rules. We can't participate in live demonstrations at your local beaches, at your local stores, like any of the surf shops. I want to be able to get Stank into a surf shop and really, like, you know, show them the benefits. We haven't been able.
Yeah, people need to see my shiny nipples, bro.
We're talking about Singen, right? I want to talk about our linebacker who's hosting 2,000 people for a party. Let's talk about that for a second.
It's for kids, though, man, and horses.
2,000 people.
It's outdoors, first of all.
Thank you.
Those Raymond James.
True, but you're not. Those fans aren't. They're not going to be sitting on bleachers. They're going to be like out a big, huge farm. People can socially distance outdoors.
Walking around. It's going to be hot as fuck. There's horses there.
Horses kill COVID, bro. Everybody knows that horses kill COVID.
Don't you know that? Their nostrils will inhale the COVID and then exhale clean air. They're just like trees. Trees create oxygen. That's how it works.
How many horses have had COVID and died?
None.
Exactly. They kill it. They kill it with their fucking horse lungs.
I'm all about Get Live 45, bro. Y'all, I said it a couple episodes ago. Devin White is my favorite player on defense at this point.
Get Live Tomb 45? Is that what you just said?
What? He took the bro. Look at right there, 45.
Get Live Tomb 45.
The relation is beautiful, bro.
He needs to be.
Does your product work
like a product sponsor?
Does your product work on horsehair?
It would, yeah. Technically, it's all natural. It's.
Hey, I discovered this connection for you, man. Just go ahead and take care of
Devin White, get your agent. You and Christian. It needs to be a thing, man. You need to be on the Tomb 45 billboard on the side of the bus with your horse.
Get Live Tomb 45. Have to change the sign behind you to say Get Live Tomb 45, and then it'll make a lot more sense.
I fucking love it. So my favorite player on defense now is Devin White. My favorite player on offense, Mike Evans.
Devin White. I agree.
Oh,
my favorite player on offense is Vita Vea. Best tight end on the team.
I like that.
Best blocking fullback on the team.
Got 2 touchdowns.
Most athletic guy on the team. And the most baby oil worthy guy on our team.
Biggest calves on the team.
Take a lot
huge
of
calves. Hey, we didn't really finish talking about if we're going. If they allow us to go together, we're absolutely going. Like, there's nothing that's going to change my mind on that. If we can go and sit together,
I'm going to skip into the stadium holding hands with you guys. That's how excited I'll be.
Absolutely, I'm down.
So worried of what it's going to look like, though. I know I'm like being the Mr. Beck of the show today. What the fuck is wrong with me?
Are you saying what is it going to look like socially? Like, are we going to get shamed for going? Is that what you're worried about?
I don't give a fuck, bitch.
All right, well, you said it.
For anybody out there, you get mad at me for going to the game. Fuck you, okay? It's my fucking decision. My fucking body, my choice.
Christian, this is a family-friendly show. Please refrain from using such language. Please.
When the fuck did we change that?
I didn't. I'm just fucking with you, man.
Oh, okay.
Hey, Sammer.
I'm weird.
Fuck you. Listen, my daughter's in therapy right now because of the words she heard you say when you yelled at me, screamed at me.
Let's address that, Stank. But wait. Before we address that, because
do we really want to on the podcast? I don't think we do.
We're about to open up that can. But listen, what I'm worried about it looking like is the sense that, what if I draw for these 4 games, you guys draw for the next 4? Like, we don't get to sit together. 1, 2. Let's say we do get to sit together. Are they going to spread us out like every other seat or every third seat?
Dude, that'd be awesome. We stand anyways, dude. I'd love extra leg room on that shit. That'd be fine by me.
We got big thighs, bro. I'm good with this extra space.
I mean, that's why I got the aisle seat. You know what I'm saying? Big ass.
Yeah, but don't you guys already do that? Like, when the stadium starts. When the stadium starts emptying out after the first pick 6 that Winston throws, don't you usually spread out with your boys anyway, right? You kind of just
listen. You guys are my emotional support humans. I can't go to the game without you, and I'll have my mom write a letter or whatever I got to do.
Just thinking about not going to the game.
No, but here's the thing, man. Here's the thing. Let's think about this for a second. If you draw these 4 games and then I draw these 4 games, like, I'm not going to the games that don't involve you, and I would expect all of you to do the same. Like, there's a loyalty there, right?
Listen,
like, that's just how it goes.
Period. If you guys aren't going to a game that I'm going to, I mean, Greg said it, man. Those tickets are going to be at a premium. I'm just saying. I've never been that guy. 16, 17 years of season tickets. I've never been the resale guy. I don't give a fuck who's coming to town. I don't miss a game. But this COVID shit is weird. This might be the year that if I don't get to go with you guys, I don't want to sit next to fucking asshole or whoever the fuck is.
Yeah. What if some Boston masshole wants to pay? I don't know.
Yeah, like the price of my
10 times the price of the seat.
Like it's gonna pay for my whole season with one. Yeah. I'm sorry.
And you know how much I hate when people season ticket holders sell their tickets. This season doesn't even make any sense. So.
This is a unique year.
This is different. This goes out the window. If we need to do it, we're gonna do it, man. And plus, dude, I mean, imagine how much more fun we would have if we're like, 1 week we're doing it at my house, 1 week we do it at Christian's house, 1 week we do it at X's joint. We'd have fucking parties.
By the way, we are going to live stream.
Well, what are we doing? Because all you're saying is 1 week we do it at Christian's house. 1 week we do
all of it, whatever that definition is, exactly all of that combined.
With doing it.
All of it. We're gonna have an orgy. We're gonna have a hot tub makeout session. We're gonna have strippers. We're gonna have
bears.
We're gonna have nude masturbating bears. We're gonna have
We're
gonna have chicken wings. We're gonna cook those wings while nude, because that's how you don't spread.
No dry rub. Nobody likes dry shit when you're nude.
No dry rub. All wet, bro. The girls are gonna be wet. Everything's gonna be wet, and then we're gonna watch the game.
You know what's really overrated?
What's that?
Wet sex.
Don't say it.
Wet sex.
What?
Wet sex. Pool sex.
Yeah. No.
That's different. Don't say that. You said it wrong.
Way overrated.
Wet sex. Like I have wet sex all the time. It's really like.
Okay.
Sloppy.
Listen.
But
the important parts of your body,
Christian,
need to be wet.
Christian, it's because you sweat a lot, Christian. That's why.
No, it's. Yeah, I'm married. I'm not gonna expose.
So I'm trying to give you a way out here, bro. Chill out. But yeah, anyway. Stank, you're right though. Pool sex, anything that involves that extra H2O being added to the chemistry, doesn't work.
How's the hot tub? I never tried the hot tub. How's the hot tub?
No, it dries out the most important parts of your body.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, bro, not happening.
It irritates.
That's why
Stank's
make it seem like it's good, but it's not. It's not. It sucks, right?
Dry. That's why dry rub. Back to my original point. Dry is better.
What?
But listen, you add the wetness as necessary. Hold up the bottle.
No.
Bex again.
You don't dip chicken wings, bro. Wings have to be like sauced up, and then once they're sauced up, if you're gonna dip them, you're either dipping them in blue cheese or ranch. There's no other option. I don't know. Christian just left. Christian went to faded out for some reason.
That was cool, Christian.
But Christian knows I'm right. You eat the wings sauced up, and if you're dipping them in ranch or blue cheese, or like you're not dipping them in the sauce while they're dry. That's not the way to do it, man. It's not the way. And listen, you guys might talk some shit here, but check it out. Try crumbled feta on your wings.
Oh, that definitely. Feta and wings go together.
Oh my god, dude.
Feta and wings go together.
Try it, Christian. It doesn't matter the sauce. You just put some feta on there.
Blue cheese guy.
Amazing, dude.
No, blue cheese, of course. Okay, but if you're the type, blue cheese fucks some people up. Like they can't.
Who's not a blue cheese fan? I almost lost my friendship with him because he's not a friend of blue cheese.
Don't say he's a ranch fan.
He's a ranch fan.
Who?
Who's a ranch fan? Blue cheese. Says blue cheese is just funky, like nasty, rotten ranch. That's what he said it was. I lost.
Wasn't it Evan Winter?
No, bro. It's bigger than that. It's deeper than that.
Bigger than that.
Listen, I have a firm belief that if you're
Trevor
a ranch guy,
Trevor is a ranch dude.
Is a ranch guy.
Oh, Trevor!
No way, dude. He's such good. He has such good food takes, and now he doesn't like
Trevor, dude. Cheese? I thought I knew you, man. I really did.
I was heartbroken. I didn't want to cut his hair.
Ranch. That needs to be that needs to be the name of this show, this episode. Trevor Ranch, really?
Ranch.
Starring Greg Auman.
Starring Greg Auman, yes.
Oh my God. Yeah, Greg Auman came on here to discuss Trevor Sikkema's hatred for blue.
He did until you started talking about my penis, and then and Greg was like,
I wanted him to give us his take.
Let's talk about someone being a penis, Stank, because
we can't do this here.
we can't do it here, bro.
We can't do this here.
Listen, there's too much love. There's too much love going on right now.
We can't do this here.
Lines were drawn in the sand
and then immediately crossed.
Fuck family. It's a fucking mutiny. And
listen.
Then the rules only apply to us.
I didn't cross the rules. Listen, I told you I didn't cross the rules that I've chastised you over.
Let me ask you a question, Stank. Are the rules only applied to us because we're white?
Yeah.
What?
Is that why?
Yeah.
Sandra can do whatever he wants, but because we're red-blooded Americans,
That's right.
We can't cross
Christian,
the line.
you're just like me, bro. What are you talking about? You're darker than me, and we're like the first generation Americans in our families.
You better get your shit straight. I'm from Land of fucking Lakes. I tip cows for fun. I have pictures of it.
Yeah, you're still Spanish, dude. You still have Spanish children.
The
There's
hell
still
I
a
am.
rule
I'm like
against
Chappelle.
your kids
I'm like
entering
Chappelle.
the
I
frame
don't
of this
see color.
podcast.
I don't see
All right.
color. I'm Land of Lakes through and through. Pasco.
Lambdo Lakes.
Pasco.
But listen, no, definitely a double standard.
Double
No,
standard.
it's like
there wasn't a double standard.
Yes, there was.
Absolutely not.
nobody's
You
following what we're
absolutely
saying right
You
now.
literally almost wrecked your car, called us, cursed us both the fuck out.
You cursed my child out.
Individual line.
You talked about anal sex with a minor.
14-year-old in
I
the
didn't
car.
say
phone.
anal sex
What
ever.
is wrong
I didn't
with
say
you?
that. I said you were kissing her ass.
No,
No, that's not
No.
quite what you said.
listen. You've already gone too far.
You were all up in there. You're all up in there.
You've already
You're
gone
all-
too far. People have no
Cam
clue what we're
Newton
talking
opening
about
up
right
his
No clue
chest,
what's
but
going
you're
on right
all
now.
up in there.
We
now. I got love for everybody, bro.
We gotta
What-
talk
what can
about
I
We're
say?
not doing this on the podcast, Christian. We
What can I
can't.
say?
Can't do it. Can't do it, man.
Listen,
Sam,
what?
do it.
How many days away from fucking training camp?
Shit. Today's what? The
20,
Today is the what the fuck today's day is? To the 13th.
21, 20 days?
No.
Less?
15 more days.
So, are they going to have like an in the current episode every day after practice? We need that. That's the only way I'm not going to.
What the fuck is your deal with your mic? I'm sorry, but I gotta say it. You hear that stank? Like sometimes
What?
they're like all of a sudden like you take headphones out of your ears like poof, and
My mic or his mic?
and then it goes back into a closet. Yours,
Mine?
Yeah.
very weird. You got that right, Sammer?
Yeah, but we're not going to talk about technical difficulties on the show. I want to see where he's going with
I
this
didn't even
current,
So
this current question, because I don't think they're going to do that.
Why wouldn't they?
Casey Phillips, or they got to report live.
Maybe-
from
you know what?
practice
No,
every day.
Maybe they'll do it, but I don't think it'll be as in depth from a play and like highlight reel side of things. It'll
Behind the
be
scenes.
they're going to show us stuff, but they're not going to show us anything that's going to be of like, value. You're not going to see the stuff that you would see on Twitter that we talked about earlier from like Greg and Trevor and the guys at Pewter Report and
I still
Not
think
the
we
other
get
guys.
highlights. I still think we get highlight plays. They're going to show the fluff, and they're going to show the behind the scenes stuff, the procedures and the wearing of the mask and this is the new meetings and we're all
Yeah, but I agree with Samar. I love following like Rendax and the people who go to practice every single day, and for one people who actually work,
Ren Dax
who can't go to the games or practices every day. Ren.
He said it in the last episode that had Pewter Cast. It's true. I looked forward to Ren's training camp diary every fucking episode because I didn't get a chance to go every day because we work, Ren.
Yeah, Ren.
Every day, Ren. We work. So
I'm cool.
Everybody
with
that
what you're doing, Ren. I can't add to what they're talking about.
Yeah, because Samar doesn't work either. Ren.
Yeah,
Ren.
Samar just
Sam.
hangs out. Ren.
As long as you're not saying Samar.
I've seen Samar so uncomfortable the last 15 minutes. I've never seen.
I'm not uncomfortable, man, because you guys are trying to like.
Look how much whiter
twist the
Samar
shit
is than
around.
me. Everybody, look how much whiter
You got
Samar
some
is.
sun? You were at the beach yesterday,
Wow,
weren't you?
look at that, boy.
Got some sun, boy. Look at
I'm
you.
not so clear and paper thin anymore, am I?
No, man, that's the
baby.
filter that we were talking about before we got on the show.
No,
Turn
don't
the
lie to
filter
people.
off.
Don't
Come
lie
on,
to
show us
people.
the tracing paper.
It's little tracing paper.
Yeah.
Hey, real talk though, Samar looks a little bit ill. You look a little pale.
Yeah, bro, you do.
You look just a little pale.
I think it's this light that's in my face.
Yeah,
And
bro,
Zoom.
you look like you might want to go get your nose swabbed right after this episode.
My nose swabbed.
Yeah,
Trying
go
to
get
breathe.
a corona test.
Fucking-
I
yeah,
don't know, man.
Way up in there.
You guys noticing my nonstop usage of DJ Khaled gifts now?
I do.
It's like
And
the-
also
it's
notice
the
that
only
it's
GIF I use.
6:17 and 49 seconds. Oh,
It's gone now. It's gone now.
Okay.
Listen, this has gone off the deep end in such a weird way.
We go way
Every
deeper than
episode
this
does.
though. This isn't even that deep. We're
Yeah,
still-
but this
we're
is just
being- this is
weird.
nice.
This is what happens when there's literally like only two things to talk about.
we're just frolicking right now. Like
I tweeted it out earlier, bro. This is the fucking tumbleweed season. This is the
Oh, my
worst. These next couple weeks are gonna be so fucking terrible.
we talked yesterday. and you were like, "Hey, anything you can update me on Bucs Twitter?"
I didn't even check Twitter over the weekend. I had other things.
You asked me, you were like, "Anything you can update me?" I'm like, no.
I had some family. I had some family members in the news.
Oh
What?
yeah.
I thought you were just at a lake hanging out. That's all
I was. Me and my healer hanging out on the river.
That's amazing, bro. Drinking one hand, Budweiser, of course.
No, bro, I'm a beer snob. Get that shit water out of my face.
How dare you?
Fucking Budweiser, Bud Light. What?
Christian might be a white redneck dude. For real.
I've been in Pasco my entire life.
I tried a Big Storm beer the other day.
How was it? The Bramosa?
The Bramosa.
How was
It was
it?
very citrusy.
We're not promoting that flavor on this show.
Ultra
Cut it out.
citrusy.
Too
We're not
citrusy?
promoting
Too
that
much
flavor on
citrus.
this show. Cut it out.
What's wrong with that flavor?
Oh, we know.
The beer was actually pretty good. I ain't gonna lie.
He's like,
You know what's wrong with that flavor.
You know what's wrong with that shit.
There's a certain media member who loves that flavor.
Huh?
Yeah, fucking love some stupid ass beet salads too. Who the fuck eats beets? Fuck that shit. So fucking salty right now, dude.
Evidently, Lee watches every show. So what's going on,
Yeah.
Lee? Hey, Lee.
Hey, we're gonna do this publicly.
Lee,
I
grow a
want Lee to
pair
come on
and
the
come
show.
on this podcast. Just
Yeah,
grow
Lee.
a pair.
Right here. Just
Come on, Lee. Come on the show.
What is it?
show,
What is
Lee.
it? Major League? You have no marbles.
Never saw that movie. No idea what you're
Never
talking
saw
about.
that.
Listen, Lee, we won't bite, bro. Afterwards, we'll be boys. We'll laugh about it.
No, we won't.
No, we won't.
No, we won't. He's
Don't
fucking
scare him away,
horrible.
bro. Don't scare him away.
He's fucking
He's a
horrible
fuck-
on there. It's a
You
fucking
don't
headache.
talk about family. You don't talk about family and then become boys after that. What
Not
are you
just
talking
talk about family. Fuck that. Fuck that. Rewind back to before he talked
That's
about.
what men do.
He sucked.
We
on them
fight,
before.
and then we're boys afterwards.
The truth hurts.
No,
Steve,
no,
you want to fucking
no.
do yourself a favor, Steve?
Oh, hey, listen, only bitch asses will fight and then still hold a grudge afterwards.
No, it's
What
not
are you
bitch
talking
ass.
about? This
Hold
is a
on, no,
family
Steve,
thing.
hold
It's
on,
different.
Steve.
If you and I fought, the grudge goes away.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
different. Okay, but
This
when
is
it's
the
an
problem
outsider talking
because-
shit about our family, no.
Not
No,
that.
but if he really comes on here and takes it like a man,
That's different. That's
dry,
different.
no
That's
no lube, no baby oil.
That's different.
We're
I'll
still
give
not
him
gonna be
respect.
friends.
I'll give him
Friends.
respect.
Here's my argument, Stank. It'll be different from the sense that I'll have respect because he came out and took it like a man. But from a standpoint of I don't like his shit, I still won't like his shit. Steve, do yourself a favor. Time mark, or what's the fucking the term? Time
I
stamp.
don't know. You're the
Every
white guy,
time
you
he
tell me.
talks on the podcast. Do it for us. Do it for everyone. So I can just fast forward past that shit. Because everything else is good. Lee, just fucking annoying. It's the same shit. How many times
Can't
can you
just
say
get rid of him?
"Jag? That guy's just a jag"? And just for those that don't know it, because I've said it a million times, that means just a guy. What the
Just a
fuck,
guy.
dude? Jesus.
Can we talk about how he always sounds like he's chewing on like 14 or 15 marbles when he talks? What is
It's a
that?
sandwich. It's a sandwich.
Oh, it's a sandwich.
Sandwich.
Oh. Why can't they record outside of a restaurant? What the fuck's up with that?
Got eating a sandwich.
They like it.
We should just do an episode where we eat the entire show. Just like wings and like just messy ass shit. Just fucking eating the
I'm
whole
down.
time. Just
I'm
talking through our food too. Just like, oh, so listen, Greg,
Spitting shit on your keyboard and the computer.
what do you think about this whole COVID shit, Greg? Yeah.
You don't get that
Yeah.
gristle. You just wasting chicken wing. What the fuck is wrong with you?
I'm down.
Man, when I'm finished with chicken
I'm
wing,
fucking
dude.
starving. Let's get some food. Do
I
it.
gotta say, Stank, out of all of us, your camera looks good, boy. Like that
Lighting.
shit. That
Lighting.
shit,
That lighting,
even
man.
Sam has to admit it. His looks the best. I don't know what you did, bro, but it's perfect.
It's lighting.
It's because he's got that natural light coming in, bro. That's
that
what it
natural
is.
light makes a
no,
big
I emit that natural light. It's not coming in from anywhere.
It's a glow.
coming off of me.
Are you pregnant?
No, bro. I just have a golden set of fucking nuts and balls and an enormous, huge penis, and I gotta go piss out of right now.
All right.
So-
Well, thanks for hanging out, dudes.
Are we good?
Thank you for coming on the show for throughout all the technical difficulties, Greg. I think we have to have Greg back because we didn't get to ask Greg everything we wanted to ask him, right?
No, we ended Greg's interview talking about
You not
My
having
sex
sex with
life.
Sasha. Yeah.
yeah.
Something
Listen,
so-
hey, you're not allowed to say my wife's name on this podcast.
It's
Sorry.
your government name. What is wrong with you?
Jessica.
You want her to come in here in the robe?
Yes, absolutely. With
Absolutely.
this camera? Fuck yeah. Call it in here.
Oh, dude, you have no idea. All right, we got to go.
fucking
I got to go.
motherfucker,
We got to end this
It's
podcast
currently
right now.
6:23 and 19 seconds.
We got to roll. All right, man. I'll see you guys later. Go Bucs.
Go Bucs.
And this podcast is the only way we know how.
That's right. Fire the cannons.
Fire the fucking cannons, y'all. Those cannons. Go Bucs.
Go Bucs.